Good morning from Savannah, Georgia. A little blast of fall in the air, too. 62 degrees when I was driving to work this morning.
It's lovely and dry.
Oh, man. We are in it. Football season here with Dr. Walter Kimsey, North Point of View at the very hip, very cool location, Victory North concert venue here in Savannah. Walter, great to be with you. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Mark. And you look like you're doing fantastic.
I'm doing pretty good right now.
Yeah, where were you this week?
West Coast, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I'm feeling good. I want to jump into something. I don't know. Maybe I better apologize before we even get started, because I've got a little bit of not a bad attitude, but I'm sort of
Skeptical?
skeptical.
Yes.
Maybe I want to poke fun at a few people too, but you just keep me in my chair. We're talking about automation, right? We're talking about this crazy amount of investment that's going on right now in driverless vehicles, right? Which I think sort of a bad label anyway, because the last I heard, this bus in the Tokyo Olympic Village ended up having 4 supervisors on the bus while the bus was driverless. You know the incident I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know exactly. No, just flat out say it. It happened at the Paralympics. And
It happened at the Tokyo Olympics in the village. Driverless bus hit, which this is not funny. The guy wasn't hurt. I mean, they made a big deal, wasn't hurt. But the bus hit a Paralympian.
yes.
And it was sort of, it was a bus built by Toyota. They're trying to showcase this thing, right?
Right.
And then to sort of make up for it in a PR move, they slow the bus down to 1.5 miles per hour.
Slower than a human walks.
I mean, that's like, why even get on the bus? Like, I'm going backwards at that point, right?
Exactly.
Because the world spins faster than, anyway, stop. Anyway, 4 people, supervisors on the bus that's driverless. I mean, at that point, heck, put the driver back in the driver's seat. Let's go 20 miles an hour and let's quit running over Paralympians.
Exactly.
Right? So, where's the traction? It seems like it's for show. It's to show the world that we're doing the right thing. We're thinking about this. We're doing that. We're technologically savvy. And they're not, obviously. All right, so I'm going to get off the bus right here and let you take it.
Right. Well, there's a lot more automation in the press than there is in the real world.
Wow. Okay, that's the quote we needed.
Exactly. It's just, we don't have any more good news. We don't have any more bad news to sell stuff. So let's go get people fired up about science fiction. So yes, it's true. We do have forklifts in warehouses that are autonomous. But I know of a warehouse where they had to get rid of all the autonomous forklifts because one of them smashed into the employee cafeteria. So the problem with the technology is it can't see. It doesn't have the ability to see. We use LiDAR, light radar. Yeah. We use radar. We use other sensing systems. But the reality is you just have to walk around a lot, and the machines have to, and they do need to improve their eyesight. If I was going to work in a place with robots, I would want a fence between me, a big fence from the floor to the ceiling, so that if the robot swings around with its arm, it can't hit me. It'll run into the fence.
Yeah, I didn't do a ton of research on this, but I think Tesla might be in a suit. A couple of these driverless cars, they've hit people. They had one incident here recently where a trooper just about got hit.
Yeah, and his car got whacked pretty good.
Yeah. So, it's like, are we pushing this stuff out too early just to try to, push up our stock prices or our PR machine? Or what's going on?
Well, part of that, I believe, Mark, is because of the growing ESG mandate for companies. You want to show that you're environmentally, good for the environment. You're sustainable. You're not making the world a lousier place. And there's a lot of demand for that to happen overnight, especially folks out west who've been dealing with those forest fires that have been huge.
Yeah.
So they're legitimately frightened. And so trying to move to electric automated equipment would be the best way to reduce dramatically your environmental, impact. But the problem is that we don't own the technology that well. The algorithms don't work that well. For example, at Okado, they designed a distribution center, which is a big grid with little robots that run around picking stuff out of the little squares, inventory out of there and running it to someplace as they build up somebody's order. And these robots are controlled by a big software program. And earlier this year, Okado had a big fire because 3 robots crashed into each other. So it says the software is not there yet.
Right.
Yeah, so that's one problem. In 3 years before that, they had a big fire because the lithium batteries inside the robots, one of the robots at least, caught fire. In fact, lithium battery fires are a serious issue. Chevrolet this last week has announced the recall of a bunch of Volts that they sold, their electric cars.
Saw that.
And the Federal Highway Administration, I get emails from them, kept warning us, don't park those things indoors, whatever you do. And in New York, I believe in the parking garages, there has to be something like 50 feet between electric vehicles that are parked inside. So we don't really own the lithium battery technology yet. There's, it works most of the time, almost all of the time, but we're not there yet. And so when it comes to, having, autonomous robots and other things working, the software isn't exactly there. These things don't see, and the batteries aren't, 100%. Maybe 99%, but they're not at 100.
So maybe I'm going to flip the whole script, though. I'm going to sort of come around from the other viewpoint, though. Don't we need this kind of investment long term to solve the problems? And is the media sort of taking 2 or 3 incidents? And I feel real bad for the president of Toyota because that was the worst possible situation, and PR, and thankfully nobody was seriously hurt and all that. But the flip side, I guess we sort of need these industry leaders to invest to get us where we want to be. Maybe it's going to take longer than the 5 years or 10 years that these guys are projecting. Maybe it's going to be 20 to actually get there. But we need the investment now to actually get there in that time frame. I'm just asking a question.
No, I think it's a very fair point. And also, if you want to be environmentally friendly, you don't necessarily have to go to electric vehicles. I mean, we have hydrogen fuel cells.
Right.
The byproduct of that is water.
Yep.
So, you get rust in your exhaust pipe. Yeah, big deal. Replace the exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
So there's also efforts to use ammonia, which could be a little easier to get your hands on and a little less volatile than hydrogen. And it's not just for automobiles, but the ocean carriers are looking into this. Car manufacturers are. In fact, I think Toyota has a hydrogen-powered car. So it doesn't really have to be electricity.
Right.
And in many ways, I think this might be a better deal because having all of these power stations, an electric car is the battery. And every car company has its own battery technology, although there are some battery makers like SK who supply many car manufacturers. But the problem is when you show up at some place to charge your car, what are you going to need? A special, link for Tesla, one for Fisker, one for the Chevrolet models, one for the Volkswagen. It's not going to be like gas stations where any truck or car can pull up and you can put in, 87 octane gasoline into the car and off you go. It doesn't matter if it's a Ford Fiesta or if it's a Ferrari, it's all the same. So we have all of this need to standardize the means to make it work. So I think we're much further away from things than most people think. By the way, Toyota is behind Honda, who is able to now sell level 3 autonomous vehicles. I think Toyota's only at level 2.
Right.
But I like when we were reading that article, that interview with Mr. Toyoda, I mean, he made a really good point that maybe this is going way too fast, and it's irresponsible to be trying to throw too much technology at people before it really works.
That's what I came away from with that article as well.
And I think the federal government kind of agrees with us.
Yeah, interesting. More to come. Hey, Walter, always great being with you.
All right, good talking to you, Mark.
All right,
Take
thanks
care.
a lot.